And Josh has booked over $2.3 million from 6 strategic partners. Some of it was residential, but most of it was from 6 strategic partners. Now you can do the same.
Welcome to the Painter Growth Podcast, where we help you scale your painting company in record time. Join us as we explore sales, marketing, hiring, finances, leadership, and more, everything that you need to know to scale and grow your painting business. I hope you enjoy and subscribe.
What is up, everybody? Michael Hickman here, and you're listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. Wow, it's like been a couple of weeks, I feel like, and I forgot my intro. But anyway, yeah, thanks for being here, guys. I've got a really juicy one here. I'm not sure how long it's going to be, but I promise that if you follow what I'm about to explain to you in this episode, you're going to be able to book over $100,000 next year just with this one strategy, if not multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, we've talked about it before, but we've got lots of episodes, so I want to talk about it again. We've learned some new things, and we have some more nuance. And that is the concept of strategic partnerships. Okay, what do I mean by a strategic partnership? A strategic partnership is anyone who can send you a paint job who is kind of the middleman or the holder of large paint jobs. This can be commercial repaint, this can be commercial new, or it can be residential new. But the main thing is who is the person who is this key holder for large painting projects. Now, what are the lists? What type of businesses are we talking about? So we got, property managers, builders, GCs, realtors, interior designers, roofers, building managers. The list goes on. Now, what's the outcome that we're trying to accomplish here? Well, the outcome is that we are able to generate relationships with a number of these ideal, I don't want to call them clients. I guess they're kind of clients, referral sources in our city or area, so that we can become the number one painters that they decide they want to send people to, send their projects to. Right. Now, most people who get started at this system or get started with this type of outreach, this type of marketing, they usually give up pretty quick. And it's not really good to give up quickly on this, because this is a medium to long-term play. Now, on average, right? Think of all of the types of businesses that I just explained to you: property managers, builders, GCs, interior designers. Chances are most of these people have been in business for a number of years, maybe 1 year, maybe 5 years, maybe 30 years, right? And in that time, if they currently use painters on their properties or in their job, they probably already have painters, right? And that is fine, but you need to know that going in. You need to know that they probably already have painters. And what you're trying to do is become the backup, right? Can you become the rebound chick for all of these ideal strategic partners? You need to be the one there ready to pounce when their current painters mess up, or they're unavailable, or that company is growing and needs another set of painters, right? So when you do your outreach initially, you're going to get no's, and you need to be okay with that. Rejection is good. You need to be fueled by the rejection. But if you can do this and set, like the outcome is setting strategic partner meetings, if you can set 1 meeting per week for the next year, that could be 50 plus meetings with ideal strategic partners. And realistically, you only need 1 or 2 of them to hit to change your life. Now, we had Josh on here a couple of weeks ago on the podcast. You can go back. It was a Painter Growth story. And Josh has booked over $2.3 million from 6 strategic partners. Some of it was residential, but most of it was from 6 strategic partners. Now, you can do the same. It's all about finding the strategic partners, being ruthless on your approach of following the system, and getting the meetings, and just kind of being consistent over and over and over. Okay, so again, realtors, builders, GCs, property managers, building managers, interior designers. All right, let's kind of break down the process. So step 1 is you're going to create a list. So you can just go on Google Drive or Google Sheets or Excel, and you're just going to create a list of all of the different property managers, builders, GCs, interior designers, building managers, and realtors in your area. easiest way to do this is simply by going on Google Maps, maps.google.com on your computer, not your phone, and just start searching. Just search realtors near me, property managers near me, builders near me, GCs near me, right? And every time you do a search, you're going to get a list. Okay, so it's going to take a little bit of time to create this list. Bonus points, if you have a virtual assistant or an office admin, you can get this started and then have them build out the list for you, right? So you want to create a spreadsheet with company name, key contact name, address, email address, and phone number, okay? And then you type of business as well, right? So spend some time creating the list. You might need 2 hours, 3 hours of uninterrupted work to create a list of, 50 to 100 contacts. And that's great. You want all of them, right? And the next step, and all of this information is on their websites. Most of it is on their websites. You can find phone numbers on websites. You can find key contacts on websites or LinkedIn. You can get email addresses on websites, or sometimes you can just Google it. You can use ChatGPT to help as well. Who are the top 10 property management companies in this city, in my area, etc. And that's step one, is creating what I call your hit list, right? Now, step two is commencing your outreach. Now, commencing your outreach or starting your outreach is going to take, again, some time. And this is why most of you guys listening to this will never see results doing this, because you won't commit the time to it. So you need to schedule between 2 and 4 hours every single week to your outreach activities. The goal being one in-person meeting every week. So calling, emailing, texting, going to office visits, right? Every single week between 2 to 4 hours a week, with the goal of one in-person meeting at their office every single week. And it can be the same person every few weeks, but you want, because that's building a relationship, but you want to just have one sit-down meeting every single week, ideally with a new person. So how do you start your outreach? Now, in your outreach, you're basically just going to start calling through them and trying to get a hold of the main contacts, right? If you don't know who the main contact is, you can't find that on the website. You're going to be looking for either a maintenance manager, if it's a property manager, a realtor or commercial realtor, or just a property manager if it's a smaller firm. So you can just ask, hi, I'm Mike with Blueprint Painting. Just out of curiosity, who handles the painting projects in your organization, or who deals with the maintenance and the repair of your projects, of your properties? Or even simpler, hey, do you guys ever use painting contractors on any of your properties? Right? And just asking that question is going to kind of get a yes or a no. They're going to start thinking about who it could be. And then just introduce yourself. Yeah, so my name's Mike with Blueprint Painting. We're a local painting company here in Tucson. And we're looking to partner closely with 2 or 3 property management companies this year. I'm just wondering, do you use any painters on your properties right now? Okay, just opening the question. You're not saying, are you looking for new painters, right? That's not what we're asking. We're asking, do you currently use painters on any of your properties, right? Because that is like, it's not sneaky, but it's asking a question, because you don't know if they need painters right now. You might just get a no and you'll never want to call them back. But if they use painters, they'll tell you. And then that allows us to get to the next step of the conversation. So, all right, we know now that they use painters. Cool. Just so I know, like, who would be responsible, or who's in charge of like making the decisions of which painters they use, or who keeps track of the relationships, right? And hopefully if you're talking to the secretary, they're going to tell you. It's like, oh, Jane does that. Awesome. You mind if I leave her a voicemail? Right. And then you can transfer her. So also notice I said, do you mind if I leave her a voicemail? Right. Sometimes office managers or front desk people, they might be a little bit hesitant to pass you along if it's like you're going to talk to them, and if it's unsolicited, inbound call. So, but if it's, hey, do you mind if I just leave her a voicemail? Right. It's a lot lower threshold. So yeah, absolutely. Let me transfer you to her voicemail. And you know what? If she goes and Joan picks up the phone, it's not leaving a voicemail anymore. It's actually talking to her. And then you're going to continue the same process once you talk to them. Hey, Joan, my name is Mike with Blueprint Painting. I was just wondering, do you guys use painters on any of your properties? The next thing after that is going from interest to meeting secured. So, oh, great, Joan, you do. Now, that's awesome. Like I said, my name's Mike, and I'm with Blueprint Painting. We're looking to partner closely with 2 or 3 property management firms. I was just wondering if you would have 15 minutes in your schedule, I could pop by and introduce myself. right? Cool. So really low commitment. You're not saying, hey, I would like a project to bid on. You can say, could I pop by and introduce myself? Right? Or what's the process of getting on your trusted vendors directory or trusted vendors list? Right? I like the first one a little bit better because it's opening with a relationship and not with like the transactional aspect of getting on the trusted vendor directory. So how can I, when's a good time where I can pop by 15 minutes, drop off a little bit of info about us and introduce myself, right? So think through that. And just practice that. It's an important phrase, and you want to make sure that you're able to say that accurately and well when it comes time to do your to actually say it to the key decision maker. So what should you have created? Well, what I always recommend and what we have in our training is some sort of like bifold, very professionally designed marketing material specifically designed for that type of business. So if you're doing outreach to property managers, we want to make a bifold that's like, this is how we work with property managers. We do this, this, and this. This is how we serve you. This is what's important to you, right? If you don't know what to put in that brochure, you need to just go find, and maybe after you'll have your first property manager meeting, and you're going to get this information from your introduction meeting with them. Okay, which is actually going to bring me to this next point, which is once you have this meeting scheduled, what do you say in it? What do you say during this meeting, right? How do you actually impress them so they want to use you? Okay. So number one, you want to be dressed well. You don't want to be dressed like a painter. You don't want to be wearing t-shirt and jeans. You want to be wearing like a polo or button up with your logo on it, khakis or some sort of like nice pants with your shirt tucked in. If you're wearing a hat, it better be branded the same as your shirt. Have your flyers in hand if you have it, a clipboard, iPad. Just look as professional as possible, because a lot of these companies, they want to work with professionals. They don't want to work with mom and pop organizations, because historically that means people who are disorganized. And these people want to be working with people who are professional and organized, right? You're going to take stress off of them the more professional and organized you can be. So you want to be super professional. Now in the meeting, great, you introduce yourself. You see if you can sit down with them in their office or at a conference room for a little bit, and you want to start asking them questions, right? This is really important. This is the discovery, right? Hey, Mike with Blueprint Painting. Hey, can you tell me a little bit about how you use painters on your properties, right? What's been your experience with painters? What's gone well? What's not gone well? What do you wish your ideal painting contractor could have? How could I make your life easier, right? And ideally, you're either recording this conversation or you're writing down all of their answers for two reasons. One, because all of this information that they're going to be giving you, you want to put it in your brochure. So if you don't have a brochure yet, all of this data, all of these pain points, you want to put in your brochure, so that when you give it to them or give it to another property manager, you're speaking the same language. And then number two, you want to regurgitate all that back to them as the reason why they should go with you, right? Oh, if their painters, don't show up, or their painters are bad at communicating, or they're not sure about where their charges are coming from, or whatever, right? We want to show that we are the answer to that pain point. So the better that you can understand and remember all of these things that bug them, the higher likelihood you are going to be able to sell that back to them and get them to want to use you. So you go through that, you tell them about yourself, you should ideally show them before and afters of projects of similar properties that they handle, leave it with them, and then schedule the next follow-up with them. Hopefully by the end of that meeting, they have a test project, right? All of these property managers and realtors, they're always going to want to start you with a small test project, and hopefully you can blow it out of the water, right? Be super, super high value, very, very communicative, very professional, have that professional proposal, get it done on time, under budget, all of that fun stuff, right? Wow them with your service. Because I can tell you the strategy, but if you can't execute, that's on you. Then you want to, if they don't give you that project, it's about keeping in contact with them. So ideally, going back to your hit list, you can make notes on the ones that you've had meetings with, make notes of when the next appointment is, what the next follow-up meeting should be, when you're supposed to reach out to them. And then on that weekly or twice a week basis, when you open up your hit list, you can go through all your follow-up resources, see who you're going to be able to reach out to next. Now, the next level up is to actually put all of this in a CRM, in either something like Drip Jobs, or go high level as a very customizable CRM, or Jobber. And you want to create your own pipeline just for your strategic partners. Okay, that's really important, because you want to see Eventually, once you start having dozens or hundreds of strategic partners that are in pipeline, you want to know where they are at any given time. Then you can set reminders to do follow-ups, send emails, things like that. Because if I talk to Joan at Remax, I want to, and I tell her that I'm going to text her next Thursday, like I better get a reminder next Thursday that I'm going to text her, else I'm going to forget. And then that's going to look bad on me. So the more organized you can be, the better software that you can have, the better tools that you have to remind you of the things that you said you were going to do, the better you're going to look, the more likely it is that you're going to get these projects. Okay. So you want to follow up with these property managers that you have meetings with every couple of weeks, either send them a text, send them an email, or drop something off of the office. And then everyone you have a good, like you generate that relationship with, you want to do something at least twice a year for them, either around the holidays or outside the holidays, that's going to make you stand out. Whether it's a gift basket at the start of December, giving them something for Easter, or just like a whatever, it's often you can actually get a bigger response and a better, more memorable response by giving them a nice gift, a Christmas level gift, but like completely away from Christmas. So like in the middle of June, give them like some like nice big gift basket, ideally with something, if they like the Boston Bruins, like make it Bruins themed, right? Have something personal for them. If they tell you their kids' names, make sure you write them down and reference those. All these little things really help when it comes to building, securing these relationships and getting work from them, right? So, I mean, even if you have several property managers or builders that are referring you work already, you want to be doing this consistently with both new pipelines, so new strategic partners, as well as the ones that are already sending you work, even if you have good relationships, right? There's always more work. There's lots of work out there. And this is probably your best way to build a multi-7-figure business in as least time possible. Last thing I kind of want to talk about is cold email. A lot of people are kind of getting, cold email is like a sexy thing again. And I don't love cold email simply because I don't like getting cold email, right? I will very, very rarely respond to a cold email outbound, and I get a lot of it, right? So I prefer just a phone call. They have receptionists. They're going to be fairly easy to get a hold of, or an office visit. And as long as you're targeted with your time, heck, I mean, even if you're like cruising around job site to job site, look on Google Maps and see if there's any property management offices on your route, and just take an extra 15-minute detour, pop into an office, introduce yourself. Bonus points if you can see on their website ahead of time who their kind of key contact is going to be, right? You do this a couple of times, it's going to become very easy. You're going to realize that you're not being a nuisance, you're not being a bother, you're actually helping them solve a problem, and a very important problem, right? If they are like having in a ton of pain with their current painters, you can solve this problem. You can be a blessing, right? Property managers and realtors, for example, they want nothing more than just simplicity. They're so busy all the time with their day-to-day, especially property managers. Every time their phone rings, it's a problem, right? There's a sewer backup, there's a bad tenant, drywall busted, whatever. If you can be that like diamond in the rough, that like little bit of glimmer, that silver lining of their day, when they pick up the phone from you, it's not a problem, but it's a solution. Man, they're going to love that feeling, right? So if you use this exactly as I explained, and you start doing this every single week for 2 to 4 hours a week, your life will be very different in 6 months from now. So I hope you test it out. And if you're just trying to start your business, I have a special link for you below. And if you're just trying to start your business or get off the tools or something like that, check out the top link in the description. I think you're really going to like it. All right. See you guys. Thanks.